sorry, my computer didn't work, so I'm borrowing a laptop. Good morning, everyone. I'm Ada from the University of Colorado Boulder. I'm really glad to be here to present our latest work, Guided Reality, generating a visually enriched AR task guidance with LLMs and vision models. This work was done in collaboration with Aditya Gunturu, Yi-Luen and Suzuki. So I'm sure everyone has seen one of these before, a big office printer. So usually start your job and then cross your fingers and pray that it will work. Because when it doesn't, most of us have no idea what to do next. Let's say, what if your scanned document is not clean? We may look for a user manual. In this case, this is a 110 pages long document. Or we may search for a video online and follow it along. Or maybe another common practice nowadays is that we'll type in the question to ChatGPT, but all you get is another block of text. So now with Guided Reality, you can pull out a mobile device. In this case, it's an iPad. And then you can type in your question and point the iPad to the printer. And this is what you will get. So you will see the printer ADF being highlighted with an arrow indicating the movement direction. You will see an animated clause cleaning your slit scan glass. Then a hook gesture to release the lever. And again, the animated clause cleaning the backside of the glass. Particles indicating where to push to close it. And now it's time to close the ADF. And finally, it will remind you to wait for 10 seconds to make sure there's no errors on the screen. This printer case is just a symbol of everyday physical tasks that we can encounter. And this is the big motivation behind the project, which is how we can enhance the generated task guidance in AR with visuals. Because looking back at the literature, even though AR has been proven to be effective in assisting task execution, the content is quite limited. As on the left side, you can see previous work has explored manually authored content with very rich visual cues. While on the right-hand side, generated guidance primarily uses arrows pointing at the key components in AR. And in this case, the user still need to figure out what to do with it. So to advance the visually enhanced AR guidance, our work makes 3 key contributions. First, we implemented Guided Reality, the AR system that generates and embeds visually enriched, spatially grounded task. Thank you. Spatially grounded task guidance. And second, a visual guidance analysis drawn from user manuals. Third, insights from 2 user studies from both learners and instructors. So to understand how actions are visualized in different ways, we analyzed 126 steps from the user manuals. And we actually found that they fall into these 5 main categories. First, highlight a component to help the user allocate it when the action is simple, like pressing a button. Second, indicating movement, which not only highlight the component, but also indicate the movement direction with arrows. Sometimes it's rotational movement, sometimes it's translational movement. Number 3, demonstrating a hand gesture when the action requires a specific gesture to operate. And number 4, showing how to use a tool when the action involves an external tool like a screwdriver. And last, displaying a contextual widget when the user needs to wait until a certain condition is met to move on to the next step. And building on the finding, we implemented Guided Reality. So our system consists of an iPad Pro as the front end and a Python backend running vision models. So to start, The user will need to type in a question, in this case, how to clean the scanning area of this printer, and point the iPad to the device. The iPad captures an image and send it with the query to ChatGPT 4.0, which decomposes the task and returns a structured task plan in JSON. Each step includes the actual instruction, the desired visual type, and the key component that the user is going to manipulate. So this happened only once when the user actively asked a question. Next, let's look at how the system renders the visual guidance for each step. The system captures an updated image when the user presses the next step button. The backend calls Gemini 2.5 to detect a 2D bounding box of the key component. And if the visual type is about movement, it runs segment anything to get a 2D cutout. And passing the information back to the front end, we combine the depth information on the iPad to project the visual back to the physical environment. For example, we use the center point to overlay the highlighted component and calculate the surface normal to place the tool. So this is the general pipeline. And in the technical evaluation, the system achieved 83% accuracy in generating the correct structured task plan. And moving on to the visual generation for each step, we ended up with 65% overall accuracy. We evaluated our system with 16 users and 4 instructors. For the end users, we conducted a within subject study where users complete 2 tasks. Cleaning the scanning area of the printer and resetting a 3D printer after the printing job. Each task had 7 steps and covered all 5 types of the visuals. We tested 2 conditions. The baseline is with an arrow pointing at the center of the key component, and with guided reality, which provides visually enhanced guidance. So some interesting findings from the user study. The system usability scale is now significant compared to the baseline. The users in particular raised concerns about the visual consistency in our system. But we also found the error rate decrease in the printer task from 17% to 10%. The users commented that the movement, visual, and the animated tools are in particular helpful for them to understand the instruction. We also asked our users to freely explore in our academic building. And to our surprise, they came up with a very wide range of the use cases, from like office appliance to kitchen devices to even music equipment. And you might notice in the center of the slide, one user even demonstrated how to create a button in Figma. So it's on like a software instruction. In addition, we interviewed 4 instructors who gave trainings regularly as part of their job. So they highlighted several potential use cases that can incorporate into their training pipelines. They mentioned this can be a great tool for personalized learning after a group session, for like troubleshooting, and also for reminders for standard procedure. They also gave us a valuable suggestion to support bi-directional interaction to refine the instruction in real time. And of course, our work has a few limitations. First, it currently runs on a mobile, and we're working on a version for the head-mounted displays to support like 2-hand operations. And second, at this point, the hand gesture and the tool are like predefined assets, because the generative models do need physical context to move from serving purely as like visual content to precise instruction. And third, this is a like single frame vision-based instruction. And finally, the text instructions can fail in some use cases, like in the IKEA assembly. So to conclude, we presented guided reality with the system prototype, a visual strategy from the user manuals, and user study result from both learners and instructors. That's it. Thank you.
Okay. Questions in the front?
Thank you. Steve Fine at Columbia University. Nice work. I was wondering, all the stuff I was seeing was relatively small in size of the volume in which the work needed to get done, in which the person looks like they were probably actually actively looking at it. Often tasks are much larger, and there may be things you need to do that are behind you or above you or out of your field of view. And so how are you dealing with out of field of view things?
Yeah,
right
totally.
now?
Thank you so much for the question. I think we also kind of mentioned this is like a single frame, the vision-based instruction. A common strategy that I found from previous work is like we'll accumulate the understanding from like when the user is moving around the device, we'll actually record, like take, for example, 1 frame per second and analyze what is going on like in the environment, even though, so like we have a history understanding of the environment, like build on top of each frame. Yeah.
Okay.
Does that answer?
Just one comment, because if you actually know what you're looking at and you know it's part of this bigger thing for which you clearly have instructions, there's a variety of things people have done over 30 or more years, literally, for pointing the user out of their field of view to look in the appropriate direction. So you should take a look at some of that work.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Hi, David Lindberg, Carnegie Mellon. Super cool work. I'm interested in the display modality. So you have this iPad essentially as an overlay. Did people actually look at it like that, or did they then drop the iPad and not use it in kind of an augmented reality mode, but more as a video? Underlyingly, the question is, will we need to have this on a head-mounted display, or maybe it's actually sufficient on an iPad or just like on an external screen?
Okay, so I guess like what we found from the user study, like how they actually use the system, is like they will actually hold the iPad like in between the user and the device, and they even try to like understand where their hands are through the iPad.
Okay.
So that's why I kind of like move forward, like could be a pretty good use case for the head-mounted display. But like for the shortcoming of like iPad, for sure, like it kind of block the people from like two-hand operation.
Okay, that's great. That means like a headset would actually have some benefit.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,